Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's been a couple weeks. July 4th was busy last weekend, and now we're back. So thanks for joining me. I hope everybody has had a great start to their summer. I guess we're about halfway through now. I got to talk to my son this weekend, who I hadn't talked to in 4 weeks. He's at summer camp, and so it was great to be able to finally talk to him. And of course, I talk to my daughter almost every day. She's learning how to manage lots of little 9-year-olds. So it's been great and getting ready for a vacation this week. I'm really, really excited to take a true vacation and not check my email for 4 days. I swear I'm going to do it. But today, I am really, really excited about our guest, and I'm so excited that you're here joining us. So, my guest today is Christoph Trappe. He shares tips, tricks, and stories around storytelling, content marketing, and business storytelling. He works to create experiences useful to people interested in understanding their customers, an important part of the marketing mix. He's a top 100 CX thought leader, a top 5% global podcaster, a live streamer, and the author of Going Live, Live Stream Your Podcast to Reach More People. So today's the day I'm actually going to learn how to do what I do better. He is also the director of content marketing for Vox Popme. So check that out. It's a great way for customers to give video feedback on products. And here's a review that they have on their website. Vox Popme took inefficient tasks off my plate and allowed me to focus on influencing action through insights. That particular testimonial came from Wendy's, and I think we'll all agree they're pretty good at content marketing. So I, of course, follow them. But I'm so excited to welcome my guest today. Let me get my screen set. There we go. Christoph, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
You bet. Hey, thanks for having me. Happy Monday. I think it is Monday.
It's Monday. Yeah, here it's a rainy Monday, but yes, it is Monday, and we're off to a great week. So I know I gave a bio about who you are and what you do, but kind of tell in your own words just a little bit about your story, since you are a master storyteller. Tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do. What got you here?
Yeah, you bet. So I grew up as a journalist actually, and learned how to connect with audiences and shared stuff that mattered, right? I mean, that's what journalists are supposed to do, and that's I like to believe that's what I did in my journalism career. Took that skill set over to marketing and communications, and later we started calling it content marketing, and of course, content strategy is also a big part of what I do today. And how do we tell those stories that make a difference as for a company, that are important to our customers, that are not just marketing gobbledygook. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is the state of the art guest, most innovative guest you have ever had. I'm industry leading. Oh, I just threw up a little. But companies need to stop talking like that, tell better stories, share what makes a difference. And, that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about that process when you start working with a business and they're just throwing out marketing and publicity and PR. How do you get them? How do you rein them in and explain to them, even if they're a small business, just how important storytelling is?
Well, I'd like to start in a better space than that. When people just start, like I talked to a CEO once and he said, I just need leads. Get me leads, these people. And I'm like, that's like literally not, that's the goal. But that's like saying I need to lose weight. Okay, what do I have to do to lose weight? I got to work out. And now there's even debate on whether I need to do cardio. Maybe lift helps. I mean, we're not a fitness show here, but just as an example. So you really want to probably start in a better place, quite frankly. But if you can't start there, slowly but surely find a way to get people on board. And the way I like to do that is really throwing my content to parade. I'll give you an example. I love live streaming. Had you asked me 10 years ago, I would have been like, it's okay. Well, I don't know what the right number of years is, but there used to be Meerkat and Periscope, and they've all Blab. They've all gone by the wayside, and it was kind of in its early stages. But today, live streaming is, you can go to all these channels and you can interview experts, and that's what I do on all the content projects I currently work on. I mean, even at Vox Popme, I got guests on the Real Talk, the Customer Insights show, and then I write articles from that show, from the interview. But before I start any writing, I already produced a live stream. I already got however many people listened and watched. And that's an easy way to do that. And the reason I like that model, honestly, is because so you and I are talking, right?
Right?
So if I'm a
Yep.
jerk, I try not to be, I think I'm not, but if I'm a jerk, it's really hard for me to hide that for 20 minutes, right? At some point, you're going to go, oh, what a jerk. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when people go live, executives, really anybody, it's not just about executives, they have to show their true selves, and it really helps you get better content. And that's that's one part of the cope strategy: create once, publish everywhere. I have no idea who came up with that. It wasn't me. It's been around for a number of years, but you just kind of have to show those successes. And I still think all these companies that are out there and they're just respinning content, or they expect writers to write stuff without talking to anybody. That's
Hmm.
crazy. That didn't even work in 2007.
Right. Right. Yeah, for sure. And there's something about just having a conversation with people. If you've got this weekly live stream or monthly live stream and you've got different people from the company coming in and telling their story, well, now I, as a consumer, can relate to that story and I can relate to this person. Even if the brand isn't necessarily something for me, I may come across someone who needs that product and say, oh, just watch this live stream and I love their chief marketing officer. I love their chief technology officer. They've got this great story. You've got to listen to it. I feel like that has gotten me as a consumer more invested in the brands that I follow just by hearing their stories. It's fascinating.
It is, and at the end of the day, people relate to people, right? I mean, whether it's a brand or not. I mean, think about the NFL, right? I mean, yes, we follow jersey colors, basically, right, as fans. But at the end of the day, we do relate to the players, right? Even when there's new players, and I mean, think about Tom Brady, right? I mean, the guy's as
Right.
old as I am, and he's in the NFL, and but people relate to him, right? Whether they
Right.
like him or hate him, and it's no different for brands. So, yes, you need to have a strong brand. Yes, you need to have a brand presence. But who are the people behind the brand that can share that story? And as far as I know, they're all humans.
As far as you know. Well, and I think it goes along with the marketing mix. I mean, you need to have a strong product, a great
Mhm.
character who's out there being interviewed can't fix a bad product. You can't fix if you've got a terrible website but a great performance, you can't necessarily convert that to sales. So it's got to all go together, but I think that having that personality for your brand is so important. And like you said, people trust people. It just keeps you real. It keeps you like a real person. And I think that's just such an important part of the marketing mix. So let me ask you
Yeah, it's
this. I know,
very
oh, go ahead.
I mean, it's very true, right? Just be a person, get out there, and share your story. I don't know. I think I'm getting less and less pushback on that than I got maybe 10, 15 years ago. But there's still some pushback, because we think of it like TV. I mean, think about this. When I first went on live anything, it was TV, right? I'd have to sit
Mhm.
here in a suit, and now I'm sitting here in a t-shirt, right? Business
Right.
storytelling podcast t-shirt. So just be human.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So let me ask you this, as a consumer of lots of this kind of content, are there any great podcasts or live streams that when you first watched or listened, you were like, I'm not sure about this, but now you feel like they're a can't miss?
Well, it's really hard to remember that because there's no overnight success. So
Right.
I don't know that I would say, oh, I didn't know. I guess the closest I have to I don't know about this is actually I saw Jim. I still don't know how to pronounce your last name, so we'll just stick with Jim on Facebook comments. Welcome to the show. But Jim and Chris Stone, his last name is much easier to pronounce.
Yep.
They did the whole Amazon Live thing, and when they first came on my show in November, I said, I don't know about Amazon. I don't know. And I didn't think it was going to be a thing I cared about. And now here we are, $600,000 later in shipped revenue. I'm a big fan, you
Right.
know. So I think rather than picking on a specific show, I think that concept, I had my doubts when I
Uh-huh.
first heard about it. I had my doubts when they told me about it. I had my doubts when I tried it the first time. And today, I use that money to go on vacation, right?
Right. That's
Um,
awesome.
so it's really always look for the new channels. Always figure out where do you want to go and produce your show and share your show.
Yeah, and Jim's great. Jim does do a good job. So hi, Jim. Thanks for tuning in today. So let's talk a
Fuse,
little bit
Jim
about
Fuse, like a
Jim
fuse
Fuse. Yes,
box. Got it,
he's
Jim.
fantastic. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about small businesses. So my company works a lot with small businesses. We're the voice behind the brands. We're the people behind the keyboard, keeping those voices real. And sometimes I'll pitch this idea of maybe we should do a live stream with your retail store or with your restaurant. What do you think about that idea as a generalization for a small business to start putting themselves out there in this way? Thoughts?
I think it's a great way to do it. And I think it's some people will push back. There's always haters. I think it's Madeline Bailey. I think that's her first name. She was just on America Got Talent, I think. And she is this singer and but I follow her on Instagram for a long time. And so she created a song with all the hate comments, right? And it's super hilarious. And then she sang it on America Got Talent. It's super awesome.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
anyway, it sounds really good. So my point is somebody will always hate on you when you do anything. And I
Yeah,
remember the story when there was real estate agents who actually did what you were just talking about. They started going live from their open houses. Oh my God.
yeah,
Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Like whatever. Like, and now it's everybody demands virtual tours, right? Or live
right,
tours or whatever. So I think it's a great way. You do want to think about what is it that you're going to talk about? What is it you're going to show? However, on the flip side, live streams, they're not TV. You don't have to scream at the camera
right,
for 2 hours. You can always just like hang out. I'll give you an example. When I go on Amazon, I only have so many devices, right? I got the iPhone, I got the iPad over here, and I can't actually trigger everything at once with only that amount of devices. So I literally set up the live stream once I'm live, and I'm like, oh, let me set up the second camera, like which on TV would be unheard of, right? So
right.
don't be so stuck on it needs to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. But figure out what are you going to live stream? Are you going to live stream, something that's going on in the store, or maybe it's just a live stream from the store. You'd be surprised how many people watch stuff like that. I used to
Right.
do a live stream on Amazon. I'm just working, and there's tens of thousands of people watching. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
So I think it's a good thing. On the other hand, though, make sure you share some value, right? Have a conversation, but don't expect millions of people to tune in. They probably won't right away. So just keep
right.
that in context as well.
Yeah, I've had a couple of, I'm still kind of new to all of this, even though this is my 23rd episode. Every week I've got some kind of issue, and I haven't yet today, so fingers crossed. But, I had one week when I had Jeanette Spear and who are my Twitter friends, I had them both on. It was a complete technical cluster. I mean, you couldn't see us all at the same time. At
Yep.
some point, we had like a black screen for part of it. And we were just, you know what, we'll just roll with it. It just is what it is. We're live, we're keeping it real. So, those kinds of things, I think that I have gotten to a point where I'm like, if we screw up, we screw up. At least we're live, we're being real, which is exactly what this whole thing is about. And sharing some good content. So even if people could just hear it, it was still worth it. So you have to let go of that perfectionism like you would in TV.
So my show now, is broadcast on all the social channels and then also on DBNA television network. So I actually have to be in the 27-minute mark, right? So it can't be more than 27 minutes, which is a whole new challenge. But what's interesting is we still make mistakes. Like I push the wrong buttons, or like I sometimes play a video, right, of a previous guest. The other day, instead of pushing the video button, I pushed the starting soon graphic button. And I just, it just whatever. Like I don't even edit it out. I just, oops, other button,
Right.
move forward. So just, you know, especially it's a one woman show, right? I mean, it's just you producing, it's just me
Yep.
producing, and just do the best you can. And I'm my point is 400 episodes in, there's very few where everything goes exactly the way I want it to go. Now, sometimes it's pretty minimal, minor, and nobody knows other than myself. And sometimes I lose a guest, in the middle of the show. But yeah, don't worry about it. Just keep rolling with the punches.
Well, that's good advice. That's good advice. And I think, going forward, I'm going to talk to some of my small business clients. Let's see if they want to invest in this idea of putting themselves out there. I think it would be great for a lot, especially now people are getting back out into the stores. I mean, it's crazy. Everybody's out. Everybody wants to be out. So, let's get people excited about coming into their stores and restaurants. That would be really fun. So I think you've given me an idea,
Well,
Christoph. Thanks.
it, you bet. And now, no, another idea you just gave me in a restaurant. I mean, why couldn't you show the cook cooking or
Yeah,
something like that? It's
absolutely.
kind of, I mean, there's cooking shows. I'm not saying they have to narrate it, but it's still kind of interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes it kind of that one step further from right now we're posting on Instagram Reels and TikTok. We could actually be live. So I think we need to go that
Yep.
route. Lindsay, if you're watching, take notes. Lindsay works with me and works on that account. So, well, I want to thank you, Christoph, for joining me today. And I also want to put up your contact information. So if anyone wants to connect with Christoph directly, either about Vox Pop Me or really about this live streaming idea and how your small business or your large business can put your people out there, get in touch with him. He's definitely the person who knows the most about live streaming and podcasting, at least that I follow. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, and it's good to see you on this Monday morning.
You bet. Thanks for having me. Have a great week. And everyone, let's go live. Let's do it.
Let's go live. Yeah, thank you. So, thank you everybody for joining in. I hope you will join me again next week. I will be back from vacation. I'm going to Napa. I'll be full of wine. But I promise to, not be drinking wine Monday morning. But my guest is going to be Amanda Hahn Peters, who you may know from Twitter. That's where I met her. She has a fantastic history. She is also an outsourced freelance social media content marketer person, but she's also the person that I like to tell my son's running times to because she is a retired professional athlete. She's a triathlete, and she also likes to talk about musicals. So I feel like we just have a lot to talk about. So I hope you'll join me. It's going to be great. But I will say the one thing we're not going to talk about are our football teams. So go Gators, Amanda. But I look forward to seeing you here next week. Until then, everybody, keep it real. Have